Welcome to Fish Easy Friday night. Let's take a look at some of the big issues we have this week. One is how to feed so many plecos. These little guys are really going to town. That is some zucchini. Some of you who are members, which I really appreciate the membership, got to see this earlier this week and to see what's going on. So you'll notice that I use a stainless steel rod to sink the zucchini. I don't blanch the zucchini because that's too time consuming. What I do is I just take one of those little rods, and there's one there from a previous zucchini. That one, eventually I'll just pull them out. Those are great for sinking floating kinds of food like that. And of course it holds it down while these are albino and regular long-finned, maybe a few short-finned guys in there. Hello, Jeff. And Jeff Pelham's also, Blue Water Aquatics, Go With The Flow. Aquatics, thanks everybody for joining us tonight. There's so much to cover, and yet we only have limited time. I've been a little rushed today. So much going on at the fish house. Those are hexazonas. Those are our little barbs that are also growing up in here. And so they're doing quite well. Now, just to give some idea of our workbench, this is our workbench. And as you can see, we have 4 tanks. Last Friday night, we put together some, these are long-fin rosy barbs. And look at the outcome. This is 1 week later. If you remember, all we had was just the males and females. We took out 2 males and 3 females, I believe, and they really went to town. So a really nice number. It's probably a good time. I think I should feed them. Their little bellies. I go by their bellies if they're kind of full. And hi, Sandy Diamond. Yeah, these little guys are going to grow fast. And we're going to talk about how I keep them growing. The Odessa barbs are in this tank, but there's not so many of them. Maybe 30, 25, 30. It's kind of hard to, yeah, not that many. That was just one pair that I threw in together to see some results. Oh, here we go. Right up against the glass, there's a few. Let's see if we can, there we go. You'll notice they have a little marking at the base of the tail, which is a little different. And they also have a black mark near the dorsal, which is different than the rosy barb. That's how you could really tell them apart very easily. I got so excited about these rosy barbs, these long-fin rosies, that I said, well, let me take the extra females and males that I did not breed from and throw them into tank number 4. So I did that. I just got excited, so after I saw how many were really coming out, I put 2 pair in here, and it looks like after 3 days I'm expecting to see something, but I don't see anything. A little disappointing, but you know, sometimes that's the way it is when it comes to breeding. It's a little disappointing. You kind of feel like there's just nothing. I don't see anything in here. I should see at this age or at this many days some slivers hanging out on the walls. But I don't see a single one. I haven't spotted a single thing. And I didn't see any activity either. The males and females were just kind of after each other. The disappointment kind of reminds me of something that went on over here. As you know, last year in June, maybe a little after, was the last time I got some. Let me turn on the light because otherwise, there we go. Let's turn on some light. These Lucipinnis were breeding so regularly, and then for many months I got nothing. Hi, Craig's Catfish. North Aquatics, thank you, James, for joining. We're looking at the Lucipinnis. This is the breeding setup. We've got a mesh over some marbles, over with a cave on top. There's a hole on the back side of this, up inverted pot. And then this thing also has, this is like a cave on top. It has a hole, kind of a big hole, but I put it over this one. Here we go. There's a couple of them showing up. So after many, many months of nothing, 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 I decided to do something drastic. I took the second group of Lucipinnis out of my 90-gallon and I put them in here all together. So I kind of mixed them up. These are Lucipinnis from 3 different sources, 3 different breeders, one in the U.S. and 2 here in Ontario. And I took the Lucipinnis and I put them all inside this one tank and thought, sometimes if they get stale, just putting some new blood in there kind of works them into a frenzy. When it comes to catfish, you need to have enough males and, of course, females around. You wouldn't believe how many fish are in this tank, but you only see a couple because they're in and out of those little tubes. So I put them in here, and 2 days later, I decided to check it out and pulled out the traps and pulled out a ton of eggs. Mostly infertile, but a ton of eggs. And that was the first time I've seen eggs in months. So that's kind of really good. And then after that, after I got 2 days done, I said, well, maybe on the 3rd day. So last night, I was thinking, maybe I should check again, and I did. And they spawned a 3rd time. So 3 nights, and they've spawned probably 3 nights. Here's last night. Here's the eggs I pulled out. Let's see if we can see them. They're already starting to hatch. Let me get a flashlight. These can be seen much easier with a flashlight. So you see some white ones. Those aren't going to hatch. You see any wigglers? I see couple wigglers already. There's a wiggler. So these eggs that are not white are going to hatch. It only takes about 24 to 36 hours. So tonight or very soon, look at all these eggs. I suspect we're going to have a good group out of this. And the one before it, yeah, Craig, the males are definitely slimmer. There's a male right there, much slimmer and a little smaller in size. Here's a female. I'll show you a female. There's so many big females. That's probably a male right there, because he's definitely not bulked up. But look at that one there, right there. That one's fat. You can see how she's bulked up. She's full of eggs. See, look at the females over here. Both of those were females that just left. Here they come back around. Look at the body. If you look down on top of them, you'll see quite a difference. Here's one that looks like a male in front. Very slim. Very slim. The females, though, are not slim. See if one comes around the corner. Ooh, a couple of them. A couple of females chase each other. Here they come back around. Oh, they're doing their thing. I turned the lights on and they're kind of getting crazy. But yeah, these eggs, looks like a lot of them. We'll see what kind of a hatching rate we'll get. I have noticed that when after just kind of, I'm just going to stir them up. I have found that when they're about to hatch, if you just kind of put some movement of water, they just seem to pop out. I don't know if that will do anything, but I have seen that happen. I've taken a bunch of eggs, I poured some water in the container, and they all hatched immediately, like instantly. There's a few here. Let's see if we can move the light around. There's a couple moving around. I should expect to see a bunch of them zipping around. Well, this is good news. This is what happens, and why sometimes after you let your fish, you got to be patient. You let them sit for a good length of time, but then sometimes stirring them up um, changing things a bit, especially with sometimes when cichlids don't want to do something, you change the rocks around and they suddenly like it. Whereas before they don't know why. Red laser, hello. Go with the flow, hello. The fish fam is all here. Yes, thank you for liking, and I'll show you the other eggs while I get I gotta get the microphone going. I almost forgot again. And the other eggs are right over here. I poured them into this, you know, I poured them over here, then I changed my mind. I says I'm gonna put some flow because there was a lot of unfertilized eggs. So as you can see, there's a ton of eggs in here, but not a lot, not a whole lot of not a whole lot of fry. There's a few wigglers. I see a few little tails munching around. Let me see what would happen if I stirred them up a little bit. See if we can. Sometimes they're just kind of just want to stir them up a little bit and see if I can get some action. I'm just going to stir them up just to see if there's any hatched out. Most of these that are going to hatch from this batch would have hatched by now because it's been more than 36 hours. So you can see this thing should be crawling with new babies. Well, there's some right there. Right on this end of the... Let me get the flashlight. I do have a powerful flashlight here. See if we can spot them. Sometimes underneath is even better. There we go. Let's see if we can hone in on a few. They're kind of light sensitive. I got mine originally from my first group of Lucipinnis. I got from the wet spot. I think it was back 2018. When they came in, they were super small when they were shipped to me, and I thought, oh, what am I going to do with those? And they were super small, and I just threw them in a tank and forgot about them, and 2 years later, I had a breeding colony. I just, you have to grow them up for 2 years. If you have a tank to let them grow. Or the ones I have are much bigger. I can ship out something that's a little bigger than the ones I got. The ones we have available here in Ontario, I think we have them at least an inch. Anyway, so we got some Lucipinnis back on track, so that's a good thing. And maybe you can see better without the flash. Just kind of a second. You see the movement. I don't know how many's in here. There might be 50. Might be 25, but I'm happy with 25. They will grow, and we'll just keep working with them. I have a super slow drip going on, and they are in a tank. This breeder box off the side of the middle tank, the display tank. So, I hope everybody's doing fine tonight. I'm going to set the camera down and get my things going. I'm going to show you next something that is put the camera into the holder. There we go. Welcome everyone, and I see a lot of familiar faces. If you're new to the channel, then thank you very much for joining us tonight. One of the things I like to do at the beginning of a live stream is just kind of show you the greatest and latest and the new things that are happening. There's two subjects we want to do. I want to demonstrate what's taking place. Now, we picked up a very, very long-finned black angel. And are you still there, James? I think we were there with you, wasn't it? I can't even remember if it was you that we got the angel from. But it was a black angel and a longfin angel, and we had one that we had picked up from another source, and just getting really dark black angels, like we're looking for double blacks. And we ended up getting two angels. We thought they were both females, and turns out that luck of the draw, we got two fish that ended up pairing up and laying eggs, and we think it's a pair. So now, of course, you could always have two females lay eggs. That's true. But in this case, it looked like one was fertilizing and one was laying the eggs. So we were kind of really happy about that. So gorgeous pair. I'm going to have to show you on, maybe tomorrow I'll do a quick picture. And Chance Larson, welcome to the memberships. Appreciate it very much. A new member. We always appreciate that very much to support the channel. And of course, there were several videos I put out this week. They're just short videos, but you know, 5-6 minute videos of what's going on, what's happening is always a good thing. So let's demonstrate now what I do, because I brought the eggs that they laid eggs last night, this dark angel pair, and what we're going to do is we're going to actually put them into the system. So right now I'm going to show you the system. Right now what we have are eggs that are hatching. So up here, for example, eggs that came off the slate last night. Eventually they fry when they're free swimming. They go into breeder boxes like that. And you can see 3 of them hanging right there. Black angle, okay. For the black angle, I think you mean angel, but is that right, James? Yes, the girl you got from me. Okay, yes, the black angel. You're correct, James. So we picked up that angel. We got eggs now. It didn't take long. We had just the right mate for it, and it turns out we had a pair. So I'm going to show you the eggs, and I'm going to put in I'm going to stick in my microphone because it makes a big difference. I'm going to plug in. And hopefully we're good. Oops, it dropped the microphone. Okay, sorry about that, everybody. You probably heard a earful. I dropped it, and it went flying across the room. Okay, if you can hear me, hopefully you can. Okay, so I'm going to show you what we're going to do. First step is I'm going to take a special, because they laid on a slate that was very wide. The problem with a wide slate is that it doesn't fit into a lot of things. So I'm going to use this particular container for it because the slate's so wide. You'll see that in a minute. But now I need some, I'm going to put RO water. This will assist in preventing the eggs from calcifying, getting too much. So we're going to fill that up with RO water. Let's see, the best way I like to do that I like to filter my RO water because it comes out, sometimes it has, I don't know, sometimes it has, sometimes the water just comes out with little soot or things like algae pieces, and I just want it nice and clean, so I'm going to filter it as I go. All right, so this is heated RO water from my barrel, and we're going to use that. Fill it up.
Okay, here we go. And I just turn it off. Yeah, it siphons backwards into the barrel and then shut it off. Now, the next step is, you can see it's got like, yeah, little pieces of, I don't know if you can check on that. It's kind of just like pieces of algae and stuff. Still feels kind of cold. Maybe my heater's not heating. Should be heated. Doesn't feel too warm. But being that the eggs are so young, it doesn't matter. 74, yeah, this wasn't heated. I brought them over in a bucket. The water's 82. Okay. Let's go ahead and heat the water first. But we would normally just put it in there and then put an air stone and then put 2 drops of methylene blue. I'm going to go ahead and heat it. Let's go ahead and heat that up. So I have a heater right over here. Did have one. My heaters are on this side. I saw it the other day. It's on the floor, maybe? Yeah. Oh, yeah, floor. Okay, they're here. Because right now they're sitting in the tank water, and the tank water down in the bucket is simply put 10 degrees warmer. I normally don't worry about it, but I don't know. I'm taking extra caution right here because this is a very special pair. We want these black angels. And so this is telling me it's, yeah, it says 70. It's pretty cold. I don't know if that's correct or not, but it's heating. Maybe it's set to 70. Let me go ahead and, okay, set to 84. That's what the bucket is right now. So I'll push it up to 82. It won't take long. This heater this is a 100 watt. So this will heat this up very quickly. And all I need to do is give it some air. I'm going to just circulate the water to aid in the. So I have this air stone. It's got a little bit of going on. Let's go ahead and give it some more. There we go. So this water, and we'll just give it a few minutes while we're talking about other things. We'll move on, and then we'll put the eggs in, take a look at them. But we're very excited about these black angels. So this is going to be, these came out of G6. So G6, it's their first try. So we'll mark them, and there we go. Now up here you see these ones have already begun free swimming. So let's take a look at the free swimming ones, what they look like when they're free swimming. In here you can see them all the way going around. I'm going to give them some, it's time to give them some, look at all those. These are JB2s. These are marbled angels. So they're black and whites. Nice batch from those. Here there's a super abundant group that have not started free swimming yet, but there's a couple that are moving about. But as you can see, there's quite a few on the floor. And just by tomorrow, they're going to be a cloud. And then this is what happens once they're put into the breeder boxes. They really do well. As you can see, each breeder box has a good batch. These are koi, and here is another set of koi angels. And this particular tank, I have lost the light. The light went out. It's a cheapy light. I need to replace it. I'll get that replaced one day. By the way, up above, I did do some moving around. Take a look at the CPDs we raised. This is out of the Blake's Aquatics trap. So if you've seen past episodes with Blake's Aquatics egg trap, here are some, looks like some Pracox rainbows along with some other mixed match from the mops that were kind of combined. Mostly looks like a Fricatus or two. But these are all CPDs with a couple of Danios. We've got a couple of glow light Danios. The orange ones in there, if you see some little orange ones, those are the glow light Danios. Yeah, Skipper's Aquariums, welcome. And it's always nice to have new people. So if you like the channel, be sure to subscribe. We're going to talk about two things tonight, and we're going to get busy right now talking about it. We're going to go ahead and do this one. We'll fix this one right now. The bucket is just holding the eggs. Here's the eggs that we're going to put in there. It's a nice huge spawn. Nice huge. And we're really looking forward to that. So if it's blacks, we're going to be able to keep some blacks. Now, let's get into our first subject. These are plans for the breeder rack. Here is the breeder rack as we talk about it. This is the workbench. I use that expression, the workbench, because on this particular level, which is almost eye level, when I walk up to it, I'm very cautious about it. And as you can see, we've got 4 or 5 gallons that fit there. And the water system is such that I can drip water from above, and it drips down through these tubes. Now we're going to change the design a little bit. At least that's the hopes. And because right now I've been using air splitters for the water, and they kind of clog up and rust up. So I want to use something that's plastic. And of course there's several ways to do it. I'm going to show you tonight the one that I intend to use. These are getting a little cloudy after giving them zucchini, so what we're going to do is with this particular overflow has given me a little issue or two, so I put it on the outside instead of the backside. Most of them are on the backside, as you can see, backside, and they work just fine. They never have an issue. The other question is why this is that way. I don't know, but I will get to the bottom of it. I'm going to turn on the drip system. Water starts coming down, as you can see. It starts draining into the tank. It's clearing out the air. So it's going to start filling up, and then we're going to hear some little gurgling noise while it overflows here and right down through here into the drain. I have a drain in the back. I discovered I had it there. I didn't even remember I had it. I don't know if you can see it back there. See where the purple line goes? Right into that. Looks like a piece of tube. That's the drain system down into the floor pipes. So this is what I'm going to talk about. This is the new and improved system. We're going to put, again, 4 tanks across here. Right now they're just sitting in the front. They will be pushed back all the way. And let me put the camera back here so you can see a little bit better what's going on. That's kind of in the way, isn't it? Okay. Let me see if I can talk like this. Okay. So right now this tank here is not all the way back. So I'm going to push it much further back. I want it to be all the way to as far back as it can go. And the reason is because in the front I will have space to put a I'll be able to put a small over the side breeder box, small breeder box, and have 4 tanks with 4 breeder boxes on them. So what that means is the drain will be in the back of the tanks, just like the other one. And can you see? Yes. So So up here, we're going to put a line. I'm going to use 1/2 inch PVC. I'm going to hang a line right here. It's going to run the length of this shelf. And what I'm going to do is I want to put this. This is a T, and it's going to be right over each tank. So maybe this will be closer to the front of the tanks. And then from here, it's going to be full of water. And I'm going to put a device here, one of these. So let's see if I can pull this out for you so you can see. So this is the device that you have a good look at it. This, you can purchase this on Amazon. This is threaded, and then it goes to, this is like your ice, a 1/4 inch line. You just push in. So this is going to screw in here, and there's going to be one over each tank. So I'm going to do this. Then I'm going to put a little piece of, this is the line that we use. It looks like this. It's white. And we're going to put that in. And then we're going to put next a control valve. My control valves are not here. What happened? I had them in my hand. Well, I don't see what I did with it. That's crazy. But that happens here in the fish room all the time. But anyway, it is, maybe it's right here in the box. Huh. I don't see it. Well, I had it last night. I wanted to show you. But now, it's kind of hard to show you when I don't know where it is. Okay. But anyway, I think you get the idea. As this hangs down, we're going to put a valve here, and it's going to be able to drip. So I'm going to hold this down, and I'm going to drip into the tank like this. And it's going to eventually in the back overflow and down the drain. So each one of these tanks will get it flushed. And that's how I do the water changes for small fry. And the small fry are, you know, they're not having to deal with big water changes, and that's the important thing, you see. Let's take another look at the air system. Air system is already in place because there were 3 10-gallons here, but I have enough of these to go, one for each of the tanks, plus an extra for maybe, I'll put a splitter and then run some more. Maybe I'll use these for splitters and then run some air all the way up to the front, because if I'm able to put on these tanks, hang a small breeder box right here and sticking out, I'll need air for the breeder box, I'll need air for the tank. So I basically need 8. I hear the gurgling. Let's turn around and see the gurgling. Okay, so the water now has got to the top of the overflow. As you can see, it's starting to go down the holes. And that's what you hear, gurgle, gurgle. Steve Scheller, oh yeah, thanks for that wonderful video on vitamins, Steve. Very good. Very educational and a lot of great points. So if you haven't seen it, folks, Steve Scheller put out some really interesting points about why we should give our fish vitamins, and in especially breeding fish and the like. So this thing's humming away, and we'll just leave it at that. Let it go. Back to the design here. So before I do these tanks, there is one other thing that I was trying to focus on. The drain here, I'm going to replace, I'm going to put this little piece right here is like an unfinished. So the question I keep running through my mind is, should I put a siphon drain for this tank right here? I could. It would be easy because then I would just reach down here and see that blue knob and just open it up, and I would be able to drain the tank. Or I could use the method I'm using now. What method do I use? Well, I drain this tank so fast and so easy that it's crazy. I've never experienced such a easy way to drain, and of course it really occurs because I have a sink right there. So my sink is right there, and I can drain this tank in a matter of seconds. 1/3 of the water comes out in I don't know how many seconds, but we can test it in a minute. It's really so fast that I kind of wonder. And the hose I use is right here. It's a 1-inch hose. I don't advise anybody to use anything bigger than 3/4 because it's so powerful. 1-inch is even more so, and it's dangerous. So you got to be very careful. A 1-inch will suck so fast and so hard that fish cannot escape. So you got to be careful how you do it. I'll show you how I do it safely, and I don't usually have any issues. So I was wondering if before I put in the system here, if I shouldn't put this other knob and another drain on this corner over here. I could come right in this corner, come up, and then go down. So that would work. This particular piece here, this is the one I'm going to drain all these for. So what we're going to do is I'm going to cut that down lower and then make it a 1/2 inch come out here, and then a 1/2 inch pipe run along the back. And along wherever the 1/2 inch is, it'll have something that looks like this. This is actually very similar to what it will look like. It'll have T's, maybe a couple T's, and then an elbow at the end, and the drains will just drain into the top and it will just gravity push out and go into that spout right there and down the drain. So that's how I'm going to do the drains. So simple, just a matter of cutting, getting it done. The lighting system, I only have one light for the whole shelf. I don't know if I'm going to hang it up like that or if I'm just going to have it sit on top of the tanks like I normally do. It's what I normally do in most of the racks, just sit on top kind of close to the water. It would be nice to have it hanging. I could do that. What do you all think? Some people like to have it out of the way. But that's the new design. We've started work on this, and we're going to continue, make progress. And if you're a member, and I do appreciate the members, they're going to just have sneak peeks as we make progress throughout the week, and show you the progress of all that. The other thing is lids. I've already got the lids, and so I'm all set. So very soon I'm going to be having 4 more tanks with grills on the bottom like these, and I can produce even more. We're going to try doing some tetras one day. We're going to try to do some more barbs. I want to get some green tiger barbs going again. And so there's little projects that we've got. I'd like to get more Odessas than this. So if you're watching Rob Lucas, you asked me earlier, thank you for your message. I know you asked me about, are the Odessas old enough to breed? Let me show you everybody what the age of the Odessas. There we go. Sorry about that. And these are the Odessas that he's talking about. The ones he got is exactly the same one, same batch. You can see the males are coloring up really nice. He asked me, are they ready to breed? The answer is they very well might. But I see the females are not full-bodied like they should be. I would expect them to be a lot more full-bodied than what they are here. And the males could always use a little more maturity. There's a nice female here that's, I don't know, you can see her. Oh, right there. And this one's full-bodied right there, look. See if I can get her. See her? She's got that little blue dot behind the eye. Most people don't realize, but if you look, there's a turquoise dot right behind the eye of a Odessa barb. It's very distinctive. Only Odessas have that I know of from the genus Pethia. These are the males. These are, I think, the male long-finned rosy barbs that did not produce any fry for us. The ones that did produce, I put separate so I wouldn't mix them up. I wanted to know which ones did something. Here's the daddies from all those fish. There were just two, and they're both in here. One's playing dominant and chasing the other one around. They're quick too. Trying to get it, them netters are crazy. They're beautiful fish. Yeah, we have in the breeding pen down here, there's the female coming out of her cave. She might think I'm going to throw something in there. I don't think there's any eggs. Blue Odessa. You're talking about the electric blue ram? Yeah, this pair is going in and out of the caves. I'm hoping to get some of the pistos going soon. And same thing with our other little project. The pH stays very low. It's in like 4.7. And I'm hoping the flagfish will go ahead and lay again. They have been threatening to do so, but they've been kind of on pause. The two pair are doing really nice. Okay. So I'm glad about these. I think I might even try selling these off. I have the Hexazona barbs, or Pentazonas, if you want to call them that. If you look at some of these males that are, if you look real close, you'll see there's definitely six bars if you count the one at the base of the tail. At a little older age, they really show it. So it's definitely a stripe. Yeah, Robert, so if you have them separated and the females are really rounded, yeah, go give it a try, sure. Just do it the same method we're doing here in Fish Easy, and you should have good success. Just so you know, you need to separate them for a little while so that they create a longing to see one another, the males and the females. And so if the females are looking quite rounded, that's great. You can do it, and then put them together when you think they're all conditioned up, ready to go, and you should have instant activity. So within 24 hours, they should do their deed. If they don't, they may be just young, and you just have to separate them again and wait another month and try it again. Younger fish tend to be a little more vibrant and more excitable, and so it wouldn't surprise me if your fish are able to spawn, and I wouldn't surprise me if these would be too. What I need to do is pull out the females from below. Maybe I'll do that this week and find a tank I can put them in so that they can kind of grow. And then something I can easily net them out of when I need to get some for breeding. How are we doing on time? Okay, it's a little after 9. Now, that's the exciting thing about the new breeder rack. I chose this shelf because it's at eye level. I really like to be able to stand here and observe very closely what's going on. with my breeders, and so these 4 tanks are going to be just breeders. And since there's just a few of the um, Odessas, and they're big enough I can move them, I'm going to go ahead and take them out of there so I can free up this tank for another spawn. I'll probably do that at the same time to get 2 tanks. So we'll leave the rosies here growing, and then I'll take tanks 2 and 4 and put a double catch. I always like to try 2 or 3 tanks of the same thing all at once so that the fry are all the same age. And if one of the spawns doesn't take, like one of the pairs or trios isn't in condition, it's not a total loss. So for me, it's like I want to put something together, like let's say a green tiger barbs. So maybe I'll have 2 tanks of green tiger barbs, and we'll give that a shot. So that's why I do it that way. What else? Now I'd like to there was a question some time ago. Somebody asked if I would take the time to explain which tank is my favorite. Well, that's a really loaded question. Which tank is my favorite? I think in terms of what he really means to say is that, because I mean, you might have your favorite fish, right? Your favorite fish may not be in your favorite tank. Sometimes your favorite fish is in a silly tank. It's just a bear tank. Some people might say, I have this big arowana, and they just mesmerize watching the fish. But there's not much in the tank, there's not like another tank might be full of plants and just full of really neat things going on. And so that's a different reason, it's a different aspect, isn't it? So the question is, what do I consider my favorite tank? Or let's just change the question, which tank do I enjoy watching the most? Well, it's a hard call. I do spend a lot of time watching my mascara barbs. I watch them back and forth, and I'll show you why. These guys, as you can see, are always fun. Those are Odessas growing up, and down below are the mascaras. Now, see, they're fun. I'm not going to take my hand. It's not necessarily a beautiful hand. I put my hand in the water, and it's fun. They start coming up. They think they're getting fed, and they start picking at my hand. These Odessas are not afraid of me. But even the mascara barbs will do that. And now I have Lucipinnis in here. And on the internet the other night, somebody was posting, asking a question about mascara barbs, because somebody told him that the mascara barbs, they will eat the eyes of other fish. Well, I don't believe that's true. I've never had that happen. In fact, look at the small fish I have them in with. Very tiny. Never had an issue. These little Lucipinnis are going to grow into such a beautiful. I have an older one right there. See, they're so colorful. The Lucipinnis is from the genus Thoiictis, or firemouth. Thoiictis miki is the red firemouth. But these are Lucipinnis, or sometimes known as the black, spot cheek cichlid. There's that little black spot you see on the cheek, makes them kind of little, maybe that's a unique mark identifier. Most of the Thoiictis have a black spot on the side, so that's not necessarily unique. But this is a fun tank. I could just watch this tank forever and ever and ever, And these guys too, the older crew. If you're still with us, James, there's your pink petricola growing out. They're doing really nice. They're getting excited. They think there's going to be some food dropped in. But they make a beautiful match with the mascaras, because mascaras eat off the top, they eat off the middle of the water, but anything that falls on the ground, the catfish just vacuum it up. But as you can see, this tank is kind of like busy. I got things in the front. I've got some Luminatus eggs and some neon dwarf rainbows, or in other words, Praecox rainbows, eggs hatching up here. And then but behind there, I have some older mascaras. The the broken shipwreck is just in there for the catfish to have a home. They need to have a home, and as always, they got to have something in there, so that's important. But what is the tank I end up watching the most? Well, it's actually my community tank. It's right here, the one here in the middle, in which these black ruby barbs follow me around wherever I go. They see me, and it doesn't matter where I'm at in the room, they're right there. Let me give you an idea of what it's like to watch this tank. I'm going to sit down. There we go. Now, this tank, it's kind of long. It doesn't have a back, so I can watch it from any side I want. And yes, maybe it would be nicer if it did have a back on one side, but then that would probably spook them when I come around the corner. But when they see me come in the fish room, and no matter where I'm at, in here we have 10 female rummy nose, and down below we have 10 male rummy nose. In with those Odessas, I don't know if you noticed them in there. They hang out in the back compared to the Odessas, kind of like the front. But when I sit here and just watch what's going on, the interaction is amazing. I like barbs, and so I like schooling barbs, and so the black rubies do a great number, especially when they're younger. Well, Robert, I told you when you were here you could pick up some Lucipinnis. I told you to sneak some in your bag. But anyway, in this particular tank, I'm going to tell you what's in here, and you're going to be like, wow. We have, what looks like over a dozen black rubies. There are a dozen checkered barbs, little guys, not colored up yet. We have 4 male rams. We have 4, maybe 3, I think there's 3 now, of male Pandurinis, pistos. We've got a colony of, in these rocks, you can see them, they're a colony of hillstream loaches. There's one on top of that rock right there. You can see them. Hill streams are really fun to watch. There's also, I told you, 10 rummy nose. There's about 6 threadfin rainbows, and there's 10 Luminatus at the very top. They hang out at the top. See in the top back? And there's a few in the mid level, but they tend to keep at the top. So we have fish that stay at the top, fish at the bottom. There are about 6 long-finned ancestresses, and there are a couple of tiny albino or super red ancestresses that escaped from the breeder boxes. Don't know how they got in there, really. And there's, I didn't mention the cardinals. There's 26 cardinals in there. I don't know if you're keeping track of how many fish. We've added up. We've got a couple cories. There's a couple oddball cories. I've got like 1 Venezuelan orange left, and there's 1 red laser cory. And there's 3 cories left. They're just kind of leftovers from previous groups. I sit here and it's just so active. I could just watch this for hours, watching the interaction, throw some food in there and go crazy. I do give them brine shrimp to make sure all the little ones, especially the young cardinals, get fed, and they do appreciate it. Now they're growing so fast. So I just mentioned all the fish that are actually in the tank. There's another 100 fish that are on the backside, hanging off on the breeder boxes, and they're using the water and they're putting out the waste as well. So if you stop and think about it, they're part of this ecosystem just as well. So how does this tank stay crystal clear, and how does it keep up? Well, I used to have just a box filter. Back in the corner there's a box filter. You can see the air coming up, but it couldn't keep up, and I was getting some issues. So what I did was, and I like the planted. Just to stop and pause and tell you something about the planted tanks. These plants, like this particular type of carpeting plant, doesn't get much taller than that. It's a dwarf something or another. I have forgotten the name. I wished I'd written it down. And I planted them, and they took forever to start perking up. Now they're perking up, and I don't know if they're going to take off or what, but I've been giving them some food. And so in the tank there's these little guys. They're just like little bushes, but I want them to just really take off. Now, interestingly enough, this green one here in the white pot is a type of valve, but it's a very short valve. It's not a tall valve. I used to have the regular jungle valve in here, and it was crazy. Couldn't take it anymore, so I got rid of it. And I found some short valve species. I don't know what it is, but it came from one of our clients. I saw it in a tank. I says, can I get some? And he gave me a bunch. Oh, look at there. There's the little ancestris popping out of the rocks. I don't know how he got in there. There's another one right behind him. See in the back? There's two of them there. And there's one Lucy in here. One Lucipinnis got in here somehow. To this day, I don't know how it got in here, but it's growing fast, and there's just one. I never see it except at feeding time. Stays in the rocks. I put the rocks in there for the hill stream loaches, but we've never been able to see any babies. But what do you expect with all these mouths hunting down any young? Oh, and I forgot to mention all the red lizards. There's like, I know 4 red lizards, plecos in here. Who's keeping tally? My goodness. Okay, so the question is, with the, I do have some crypts that are just taking off. I've got a lot of these crypts, different kinds of crypts. Got them from Brian Frazier, and in, I think it's Oakville. Is that where he's at? He was club member. And a couple pieces of the Java fern, Wendelove. I got one there, and I had tied a bunch on this driftwood, but I had to add this this little small filter, and this was the key to keeping the water crystal clear. Without it, I've not been able to do that. Oh, another one. How many of those little guys are there? They keep getting in there. I guess they get in from the they somehow get in here from the breeder boxes, but I don't know how. Then these are all there's lots of them in here. If you can see how many little plecos, these are all super reds, but it doesn't hurt. They're in there eating up the extras and stuff. So this tank, I love to watch. I just walk around it. You notice on this side now the ruby barbs are on this side, and the cardinals are on the other side. They hang out in the place. Now, question: how do we take care of this tank? Well, I'm going to demonstrate how fast it is to change the water. And we have only 15 minutes, but I can do it in half that time. Let me just demonstrate how I'm going to do that. Let's see. I got to put the camera down where you can watch. Let's see if I can put it in a way. This might be the best spot, because fortunately you should be able to hear me with the microphone, right? Okay, so here it is right here. This is all I do. I lift the lid, give myself a little space right here, turn around, pull out my 1 inch. It's got a strainer on one end. It's just the right length to do this. I stick it down into the tank, and I'm going to drain 1/3. And I'm just letting it drain into the sink right here in my right hand. And it's coming out. You can see the strainer in the camera. Fish sometimes come up to it. Mostly the inquisitive, like barbs, they like to go up close, but nobody seems to really be bothered. They know the water is dropping. But the water is pouring out quickly. Now this is a 30-gallon. I think it's a 30-gallon tall. Maybe a little more. Okay. I'm getting to the bottom of the intake of the filter. Plant, floating plant. And I just drain the hose, put the hose back. Now I give the plants, because I changed the water, I'm going to give the plants some liquid fertilizer. A couple squirts. It's supposed to be a squirt per 10 gallons, so 3 squirts. And then I'm going to, sometimes when I need to, I will wipe the walls while it's low like this. But I just take my refill tube, open up the valve, turn the motor on. Now we're refilling. I hope you started timing it, because then you can see there's the water coming in. See if I can get that on camera even better. Get that on here. See, it just hangs on the side, and there it is, filling it up. They're getting their fresh water, and then I can say, Bob's your uncle. And whammy. 1/3 water change. And I do that once a week. If I feel like it, maybe twice a week. That's it. So we're getting up there. So I hope you all enjoyed a quick water change of my favorite tank. How I keep it in good condition. And everybody's good with that. So we'll see. We'll see how the tank is. It's basically a holding tank. So like the male rams, I'll pull from here as I watch them and see which one's dominant. I may use him for breeding. And I put him with the females. Maybe a tank with a bunch of females in it. Put him in there, see which one he goes for, and then pull out the other females, let them spawn. Or take the pair out, put them in a tank of their own. So I'm constantly breeding here, always looking for different opportunities for the fish to to either be conditioned up for a breeding project in the workbench, or maybe it's like these black rubies. I mean, they're so cute, but they're not definitely not colored up yet. They're not mature. Same thing with the checkered barbs. They're definitely not ready. But I'll just wait, and one day they will be ready, and we'll be doing another little project and try to get some. So breeding fish is fun, and of course we like to breed for profit here, so we're doing a lot of that, and that's how we keep the money going. Like now I've got little CPDs. I can take those and put them on the website. Thank you all for your support, checking out aquarium.biz, adding fish all the time, more and more. Sometimes it's discus and other fish. Check out the livestock we have there. And of course, we may as well mention all of you who have stayed. There's a good number of you who have stayed to the end. Not everybody's hit a thumbs up, but some of you have stayed. And this week we're going to start a new coupon on the website. So glad you stayed. So tonight, being that it's the time period in which people are putting out their ponds. Oh, the water's full. I got to turn it off. And so I just come over here, hit the switch, turn off the valve, remove the hang on the side refill, fix the lid, and Bob's your uncle. Ta-da. Hope you enjoyed that. That's how I keep the so good. And thank you so much, Mayor. Appreciate it so much that you were able to for the super chat. Don't leave without the special super duper discount that we're offering this week. So from today until next Friday, there will be a coupon code at the website aquarium.biz, and if you want to check it out, all live cultures, including ordering a Daphnia culture, is going to give you 20% off at checkout, or put in the coupon for all the live foods that we offer. They're culture starters. I ship all around the world, basically, and so if you want, it's coupon code Daphnia 20. Daphnia 20 will get you a 20% discount on any of the things at aquarium.biz. So check it out. Check it out tonight. I think people doing ponds and doing some live foods, this would be a time. If you do want to get some Daphnia, I have Daphnia magna, and it's great for feeding to fish for breeders, and so it's kind of a good. And so don't hesitate on that. I'm still, just like in the tank behind me, there was a, that's it, Daphnia 20 for 20% off. Thank you so much. And last week was only 15% off, but look, I said I'm going to make it special for you guys. Let's do it 20% off, and it's for 1 week only. So sorry if you're watching the replay after, let's see, today's May 10th, after May 17th. I'm sorry you missed out, but don't worry. Just keep watching the program. Next week, who knows? There might be another coupon for something else. But just as in the tank behind me, there's a Lucipinnis in there. I don't know how it got in here. I am just amazed. The same thing has happened in the tank I'm looking at right now. There's no light, but I'll show you. There's a fish in here. I looked at it the other day. If you see it right there, it is definitely a barb, and it's got a spot at the tail, but not at the dorsal. You see that little guy? How he got in here, I don't know. I'll tell you why I don't understand how he got in there. There he is right there. Just by himself. What on earth? How did he get in there? It is crazy, crazy, crazy. Because that is a rosy barb. It's got to be a rosy barb. I bred some rosy barbs, but never once did I have any rosy barbs connected to this tank. Never once. There was never a breeder box here with rosy barbs in it. Because if you remember, we bred the rosy barbs over here. And we had them in tanks 1, 2, and 3. And then we combined them, and now they're over at the grow out center. So I don't know how that happened, but there's a rosy barb in that tank. How it gets in there, it's just another one of the strange contaminants that just happens around here. Well, thank you very much, everyone. If you're going to go, I don't know what happened last week. I went over to try to watch the live stream at LRB Aquatics, and I wasn't able to locate it for some reason. But hopefully he's on tonight. One last look at these are the ruby barbs. You see some of them starting to get a little ruby nose, a little color in them. I think those are going to be males. I think I'm going to have a nice little mixture of males and females. Oh, you found the link. Great. Okay. So we can watch the question and answers with LRB. In the meantime, I'm going to sign off for the week, and it's been great. And of course, I'll still be putting little videos out, but I just wanted you guys to see my favorite tank and why it's so busy, so many things happening. It's just awesome. It's an amazing tank. And like, for example, when you put fish into a tank like this, they feel very comfortable. I can't tell you how many times I put skittish fish into an empty tank and they stay skittish, but you put them in here and they're not an hour later, they're just, acting natural, very normal. But the plants make it special, and there are floating plants too. I think that helps too. There's different kinds of floating plants. I was hoping they would grow faster, but it's okay. It just keeps the algae down when I have so many plants that are thriving. I'm anxious to see this type of val take over. I want to plant it all up and down the center of this tank. I only have the one right now, but it'll grow. Once it takes off, I'm sure it'll be exciting because it doesn't grow tall, so this way it won't take over the tank. And then down here I have my rock pile and all the hill stream loaches, and it's just a different environment altogether down here in the rocks versus down over here in the plants. It's exciting. Thanks again, everyone, for joining, and we'll see you over there. Be sure to mention you were at the Fish Easy live stream, and you learned something. And by the way, the water is hot. Shall we say hot? It's green. That means it's actually come to, it's warm enough. It's the same temperature. I'm going to unplug it, and we're going to just stick the eggs in there. But you see how I do it? Put that in the sink. So this is all ready. We're just going to take the eggs. I'm going to pick them up, put them in, and we've got a problem. Crud, they don't fit. This thing is too big. Well, it was a nice idea. I hate to have to hatch them in this bucket, but I don't know what else I'm going to do. I'll have to figure out. We're going to get rid of this slate. I don't like them laying right in the middle. Oh, that's what we can do. We can turn it around. That's another little trick. Maybe it'll fit this way. Okay. Let's see if we can get them to fit in here. I got to set the camera down a second. See if it fits. Nope. Same thing, just a few eggs hanging out. Oh, great. They laid right in the middle. So a lot of good that did. Well, that was the idea. I'm going to have to just replace the water here with the bucket. We'll just have to do it in the bucket. Once they hatch, I can blow them off gently off of it, and boom. Yeah, trim. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like the fact that it's so big, that tile. It just is impractical. So thank you very much, everyone. And again, we will be in touch. If you have any questions, if you have actually been, if you've been watching this on replay, if you have a question, leave it at the bottom. I'll get the question and we'll answer you, okay? Thank you so much. And everyone have a great night. And we'll see you on the next one. So thank you for being here with Fish Easy, especially all those who gave me the super chats and the good things. And we'll be in touch. In the meantime, keep it real.